Now I'll walk through the cypress arch into the side yard that extends just between the fence and the side of my house. Very narrow, shady spot. Not really so suitable for roses, but being the sort of plant geek that I am, things aren't necessarily only about roses. I will talk for a moment about this little statue. It's a little naked boy reading. My son was about that age, maybe a little bit older when I bought it, and he hated that statue. He did not want to be naked in my garden on a statue, and he knew that's what it was intended to allude to, which it does. But I was really tickled to see this statue in Australia in one of the gardens that I visited. So it's grown in rose gardens around the world, or it's not grown, but it's placed in rose gardens around the world. And I wonder if her son hated that statue too. I have some very nice companion plants here whose names I never knew. When I finally find them out, must start labeling my plants, and I'll put a label down of what this ground cover or viney type thing. It does send out some long stems. There's also this grassy-like plant that has these beautiful blue flowers, and I don't know what that is. So if anybody can tell me, I'd appreciate it. And then some other companion plants here. This little foam flower, I hope will continue to spread. It was spreading more. I dug some up to give to my friend Bill. And so let's hope it keeps on going. It does spread modestly, as does the Byakovo geranium that's just very sweet there. You'll see ferns along this area. I collect plants. I collect hardy geraniums and ferns. And salvia are three of the itches that I scratch along with the roses. And I guess I've begun to collect clematis too. It was never my intention, but I figured out how to site them and how to keep them watered enough. And so they're doing pretty well here. So after Sombrui is Dainty Bess. To the left is an espaliered camellia that gave me 3 months of beautiful semi-double blooms. I'll need to be trimming and tying it, keeping it in bounds here so it doesn't fill up the path. Beyond Dainty Bess is Lida Rose, which can be grown as a large shrub, but it also espalieres very nicely. I'm fond of espaliered roses. And then here's Mel's Heritage. And I don't get repeat bloom on that. Maybe this year I will. It might be that it's just too shady here. I'm not sure why. Then I'll just sweep around and show you continued work in progress. This is my shade garden, which you'd think I'd spend a lot of time in living in Sacramento, but I'd much rather be in the bigger garden with the roses than this little secluded spot. It does let me grow some interesting things. I have a little heuchera collection. I have a clematis that needs to, just newly planted, that needs to get trained up behind the gazing ball. And I'm going to do some other plantings back there once I figure out what will work. I have one rhododendron. I have, again, some wonderful ferns. Just planted the honey bush back there, Melianthus, which is probably way too big for this spot, but I just adore its leaves and everything about it, so I'm going to give it a try. And then sweep around. I should do something more in front of the beautiful chimney. This I should spend more time on. All the garden shoulds, right? You look at things and you think about what could be. And here's the view back towards the main garden.